The Galactic Survey Corps had classified Kepler 447 as a Class-9 lethal world. That meant 99.7% of known sapient species would die within 72 hours of atmospheric exposure. The air carried spores that dissolved Phrathari carapaces. The soil teemed with bacteria that liquefied xanthi organs. The gravity crushed the bones of the slender Orium. The predators, six-limbed, armored, and viciously intelligent, hunted in coordinated packs that had wiped out 3 separate robotic expeditions. When colonist Rhea Voss requested a Class-9 drop zone, the bureaucrats assumed it was a filing error. When she confirmed it, they assumed she was suicidal. When she survived the first month, they stopped making assumptions about humans altogether. Rhea had chosen Kepler 447d for exactly the reasons others feared it. No claim jumpers. No corporate surveyors. No colony ships full of entitled settlers who'd demand she share the iridium deposits she'd detected from orbit. Just her, a prefab shelter, 3 cargo pods of supplies, and a planet that wanted her dead. She lasted 6 hours before the first pack found her. They came at dawn, 3 creatures the size of Earth's extinct grizzlies, covered in overlapping plates of chitinous armor that shifted from black to mottled green depending on the light. 6 legs gave them terrifying speed across the rocky terrain. Their heads were almost reptilian, but the intelligence in those amber eyes was unmistakable. They'd flanked her position with military precision, cutting off every escape route before she even knew they were there. Rhea stood in the doorway of her half-assembled shelter, plasma rifle in hand, and met the gaze of the largest predator. Its packmates held position, waiting, testing. "You're the boss, aren't you?" she said to the leader, keeping her voice steady. "Alpha of your pack." The creature tilted its head. Its nostrils flared, sampling her scent. She could see the calculations happening behind those eyes. Threat assessment, risk analysis, pack dynamics. These weren't mindless beasts. They were thinking, planning, surviving. Rhea slowly lowered her rifle. "Tell you what, big guy. I'm not here to hunt you. I'm here for the rocks, not the territory. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. Deal?" For 10 seconds, nothing moved. Then the Alpha made a sound, part growl, part chirp, and the pack retreated into the crimson forest. But the Alpha paused at the tree line, looked back once, and Rhea could have sworn she saw something like curiosity in its expression. She named him Koran. She had no idea if it was male, female, or something else entirely, but the name felt right. Over the following weeks, a strange routine developed. Rhea would work on her homestead, expanding the shelter, setting up the forge she'd need to process raw iridium, cultivating a small garden of Earth-compatible plants in carefully treated soil. And Koran's pack would watch from the forest edge, sometimes close, sometimes distant, always observing. When a second pack tried to attack her water purification system, Koran's pack intervened. The fight was brutal and brief. Rhea watched from her rooftop as 6 predators drove off 9, protecting what they'd apparently decided was their territory. When it was over, Koran looked up at her, made that same chirping growl, and settled down 50 meters from her door. "You're not protecting me," Rhea muttered, climbing down. "You're protecting your claim on me. Smart." But that night she left 3 kilos of synthesized protein outside her door. By morning it was gone, and Koran's pack had moved closer, 30 meters now, well within what should have been their attack range. The Galactic Survey Corps called it Stockholm Syndrome with extra steps when she filed her first quarterly report. The xenobiologists called it impossible, interspecies pack bonding. The colony administrators called it proof that humans will befriend anything that doesn't immediately kill them. Rhea called it Tuesday. By month 6, Koran and his 2 packmates, she'd named them Senna and Tarek, had full run of the homestead. They'd learned to avoid the forge when it was hot. They'd somehow figured out which plants in her garden were off limits and which ones she didn't mind them eating. Tarek had developed a fascination with her welding torch and would watch for hours as she shaped iridium into ingots. Senna had appointed herself guardian of the perimeter and would pace the fence line every evening with military precision. And Koran? Koran had become her shadow. When she worked, he watched. When she ate, he settled nearby. When another pack of predators, or once a foolish surveyor drone from a corporate claim jumper, approached her territory, Koran defended it with the ferocity of a creature protecting its own den. "You know the bureaucrats think I'm crazy," Rhea told him one evening. Sitting on her porch as the twin moons rose over the crimson canopy, Corin lay beside her, his armored bulk radiating heat in the cooling air. They say you're apex predators, that you're tolerating me, not bonding with me, that the first time I show weakness, you'll tear me apart. Corin made a low rumbling sound, his version of contentment. She'd learned. But they don't get it, she continued, scratching the ridge above his eye, where the armor plates gave way to surprisingly soft skin. They don't understand that survival isn't about domination, it's about adaptation. You adapted to me, I adapted to you. We're a pack now, humans and Kepler predators, first of our kind. The planet that was supposed to kill her had become home. The predators that were supposed to hunt her had become family. The Class-9 lethal world had yielded its secrets to the one thing the surveyors hadn't accounted for. Human stubbornness mixed with enough crazy to try. When the first iridium shipment launched 3 months later, Rhea included a note with her cargo manifest. Homestead established. Forge operational. Pack secure. Recommend updating Kepler 447 declassification to Class-9 lethal. Humans exempt. And on her porch, surrounded by 3 apex predators who'd traded hunting her for living with her, colonist Rhea Voss smiled and got back to work. She had a planet to tame, a fortune to make, and a family to feed. The galaxy could keep its safe, civilized worlds. She'd take the lethal one, thank you very much, that was the human way.